Hey, YouTube. Good evening. Well, I don't know how I missed this story. It's only a day or so old, but I just experienced deja vu. You know that feeling? There's been songs written about it. Deja vu. Could this be a dream that I once knew? Shining, something like that. Shining through. That was that woman's name. Whatever. I think Tina Marie had a song like it too. Anyway, deja vu. You feel like you've seen something before, right? It's not the first time I've been here. Do you guys now? Okay, let me put this disclaimer. I know I said I was gonna I was on the 12 steps to get the hell away from Jay Wilson, but I got to admit something. This part of it is just more fun. I know there's many things to talk about it, but this YouTube mess, whatever it is, it can tickle the spirit because I'm experiencing deja vu, and I must speak on it. Wasn't it just a couple of months ago when Jay Wilson said the name? Jay Wilson was teasing Miss Treecy about having a Cash App party. He went on to make fun of her for having a Cash App party, like, oh, her bill's not getting paid. Oh, she's a desperate woman. All this shit about her having a Cash App party. Well, as it turns out, Treecy was just kidding when she said a Cash App party. It was just, it's in passing. He latched on that, and he just so hungry to make fun of that woman. He gets on there and starts talking about it, and then it wasn't a hot 15 minutes later. He was on there begging for money for himself for his Cash App party. So moments earlier, he was talking about the Cash App party being such a horrible disaster, and that what kind of a person would do something like that, right? How it's cheap and desperate and all this kind of shit. Then when he realized he can get a couple dollars from it, he gets his own Cash App party. So he starts off with people giving each other money, right? A few moments later, no, send the money to me and I'll give out $2. For every $10 you send me, I'll give out $2. So I was asking the question then, why is the middleman getting 80% of the profit? Why these people, he's turned it all into sending him money. That's why you don't live beyond your means. See, you're always waiting for the next scam to get them damn bills paid. So now he done lost that little bullshit job. So I guess now he's spending up whatever little savings that he had, and he's got to start now come up with hustles to get them bills paid, right? Now Jay Wilson, he terrorized, scandalized the name of Sean Bradley, like Sean Bradley was the ultimate con man, because he was charging a certain amount of money to go for his Vegas trip, right? A Vegas trip is a pretty glamorous thing, actually. People have junkets to Vegas all the time. So I don't know how much the money is involved or whatever. But this dude just criticized and criticized and criticized Sean Bradley for charging, I think it was $300 for his trip. You pay early, it's cheaper or whatever. He made fun of that over and over and over and over again, right? Like Sean Bradley was a low-life piece of shit because he was making people pay for these trips. And then he was charging a higher amount the closer you got to the event, right? But from what we saw of this Vegas trip, it seems like a pretty glamorous vacation. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this story. I saw it first yesterday, but I didn't get around to it till today. Now Jay Wilson, remember he hated that idea, right? He hated charge. He bragged and bragged and bragged and bragged about his event only cost $40. And Sean Bradley was the devil himself because he charged $300. I don't know what these packages include. Are there food, lodgings, whatever they are? I don't know the details. So let's just stick with the basics. He thought it was horrible that Sean did it. He bragged and bragged and bragged about his event. It's only $40 per person. Registration free. Now he come up with, instead of $40, we want $75 if you register now. This is basically a whole year in advance. A whole year in advance, and you can send him $75. Something to happen next year, right? And after the first of the year, You can pay them 100. It's 120 or 130. 100. I think it's 120 because I think it's 3 times the original $40. 3 times the amount. Now, what happened to all the braggadocio about all the money you made on the last event? He bragged and bragged and bragged about how he had turned a profit charging $40 a person. And now he's going to triple the price of this thing from 40 to 120. And even if you go in advance, you still got to pay him 2.5 times as much as the whole event cost last year. The year that he claimed he made such a wonderful profit. Lest we assume that he'll be begging, in addition to that money, he'll be begging the entire time he's on this little vacation thing. Who in the hell? I can very easily imagine paying $300 to go on a trip to Vegas, or a trip to New York City, or a trip to Los Angeles somewhere. I could easily see that. Go to the Bahamas, pay $300. I could see going on a cruise for $300. But who in the fuck, excuse my language, who in the holy hell is going to pay $300? How much was it? $130 to take a plane to San Antonio, Texas. I mean, what is the event? A bronking bull? Who wants to pay 3 times what it was last year when you claim you made so much profit? 3 times that much now to go and visit Jay Wilson in San Antonio. This doesn't include any kind of lodgings or anything like that. This doesn't include any kind of hotel. This doesn't include from what we saw, he filmed it all and begged the whole time he was there. It seemed like more of a money grab to me than anything else. Get my mind right. Seemed like everywhere he went to, they were begging for money. He had jives along on this little junket. He made several $1,000s. He made Wilson raised several $1,000s. Plus, he got to pocket the 40 because all he got was a couple of fish sandwiches. I mean, let's be real. Little takeout food that we buy every day. So now he thought it was such a horrible idea that Sean Bradley had done this thing where you pay less in the beginning and then switch over to more as you get closer to the event, right? This dude says pay him $75 now for next year's event. Basically, he's going to take that money and use it for whatever he needs it for. And that is the house. I keep telling you guys, when I say that a person is a prisoner to a house means they absolutely have to do whatever is necessary to pay those bills that keep coming in. The bills that keep coming in, where he said he made $100,000 a year as a dean, that's up to question now. Even that is being questioned at this time. But those same bills, you got to come up with that no matter what, right? Just to stay in the house. All the begging, all the cash apps, all the being online for 8 hours a day, all of the everything. It all has to come down to keeping that damn house. So my guess, another money grab. But the bad part about it is he criticized Sean Bradley for this very same thing. Just like he did with Treecy's Cash App party, which was not even a Cash App party, but he thought it was a Cash App party. He turned it into his own. You remember that Cash App party? He ended up having everybody send him the money. And then he had the audacity to realize, oh, this was lucrative. Come back on the next day for several more hours of begging, all through the night of begging. This boy has told you guys over and over and over and over, I'm going to get a coin. It's a coin. He's sick. Jay Wilson is a sick human being. And he doesn't even have he always talking about the emotional intelligence. He didn't have the emotion. He didn't have the intelligence to realize that it seems strange that I keep doing the things that I'm criticizing everyone else for. I do the same things right after I realize how to get the money from it, right? He criticized Wally horribly for starting to GoFundMe to get a vehicle to get back and forth to work, right? He criticized that boy mercilessly. Then guess what? Oh, how can I get a GoFundMe? I need an editor. Begged for months for that. I guess I heard somewhere that he got $1,600 for this editor. You open the book and there's 13, was it 13 or 23? 13 in the first damn paragraph. How can anybody make that many mistakes? And how did anyone get through 5 degrees and that's on the level that they're able to spell? Mysteries are being unveiled here. When this person tells you that they just in it for a coin, like my beloved Maya Angelou says, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Believe this dude. He's doing the very same thing he accuses other boy of doing a couple months later. And what's he offering you for this? These 3 times the amount of money? Is it going to be something more than a fish sandwich? Is it going to be something more than King Jive standing in his living room, and talking to people for a few minutes? Is it going to be more than that? What kind of sites what are you doing in San Antonio, Texas that will warrant you giving him $130 and paying for airfare and paying for a hotel? Why would you do all this stuff? To visit him? The one who told you, I'm only in it for a coin.